On the banks of the winding Amanwo River lived a fisherman named Chukwuemeka. He was known throughout the village as the most skilled fisherman, never returning from the river without a bountiful catch to feed his family and sell at the market. Each morning as the sun rose over the lush green hills, Chukwuemeka would grab his fishing spear and net, kiss his mother Neka goodbye, and hike down the worn path to his favorite fishing spot by the riverside. He knew each bend of the river like the back of his hand, including which rocks and fallen trees made the best place to catch catfish and tilapia. One sunny morning, Chukwuemeka was fishing as usual when something caught his eye. A beautiful woman bathing alone in the shimmering river. Her beauty stunned him. She had smooth, glowing brown skin and long, flowing black hair that seemed to float on the river's surface. Chukwuemeka crouched behind a rock to watch without disturbing her. As she bathed, the mysterious woman began to sing. Her voice was hauntingly beautiful, like nothing he had ever heard. Chukwuemeka became entranced, incapable of movement as he listened. When she finished her song, she turned and noticed Chukwuemeka watching. But instead of being upset at his presence, she simply smiled a bright smile that made his heart race. "Good morning, fisherman. My name is Kioma. What brings you to my river today?" She spoke gently. "I am Chukwuemeka, the village fisherman," he replied nervously. "I come here to fish every morning. Please forgive me. I did not mean to intrude upon your bathing." "No need to apologize. Come, sit with me. This river has brought us together," said Kioma. From that day onward, Chukwuemeka met with the mysterious Kioma by the riverside whenever he could get away from his duties. Over time, he fell deeply in love with her beauty, voice, and kind soul, and she professed to love him just the same. But his mother, Neka, grew suspicious. "Why do you rush off alone so often, instead of taking your brother fishing with you?" she asked. Chukwuemeka pretended not to hear her and hurried off to meet his secret love. One afternoon, under their favorite shade tree, Chukwuemeka turned to Chioma. "My sweet love, will you marry me?" he asked hopefully. Chioma's eyes lit up. "Nothing would make me happier than to be your wife." The couple joyously told the villagers the news. All rejoiced except for Neka, who remained wary of her future daughter-in-law, who seemed to appear from nowhere. The night before the wedding, Neka followed her son secretly through the moonlit forest to the river. She watched horrified as he embraced the beautiful Kioma. But instead of legs, the maiden had the tail of a great fish. Neka shrieked in shock at the sight of the river witch. Chukwuemeka turned and cried, "Mother, what are you doing here? How dare you follow me?" But the river witch screeched loudly, her pretty face now twisted and enraged. Dark clouds suddenly rolled across the night sky as lightning began striking dangerously close to shore. "You liar!" Chioma hissed, circling Chukwuemeka in the water. "You told me you had no woman. Now I will make sure no woman may ever have you." The river witch grabbed Chukwuemeka with her powerful tail and plunged him into the deep waters. He struggled against her mighty strength to no avail until his movements slowed and he drifted lifeless in her grip. Neka wailed in anguish at the terrible sight, begging the witch to release her only son. But her pleas went ignored. Chioma dove deeper into the river, never to be seen again with Chukwuemeka's body in her clutches. Neka returned to the village, gutted with grief and anger at the evil witch who took her beloved son. She warned all who would listen never to trust a beautiful maiden seen bathing alone in the river, lest they be the next victims caught in her deadly embrace. From then on, the villagers feared the winding river and the vengeful mermaid that guarded it. Some claimed to occasionally hear her eerie singing from the shore late at night. Others refused to go near the waters again. But the fish supply soon grew scarce, forcing the fishermen back despite their unease. Years later, two young brothers named Ikena and Ifeanyi begged their widow mother Onyeka to let them follow their father's footsteps as fishermen. Onyeka was reluctant, but unable to deny her village's need for food. The boys proved themselves quite skilled, just like their late father. Joy returned to Onyeka's heart, watching her two sons return home with bountiful catches. Until late one night, only Ikena returned. When pressed what happened to Ifeanyi, His face went pale as he recounted seeing a beautiful maiden singing from the safety of the shore. His brother swam out for a closer look and was immediately pulled into the rough waters by a powerful force. Onyeka crumpled to the ground, racked with anguish as she realized the river witch had taken yet another of her loved ones. She warned the villagers to burn the creature if they ever caught her, but the river remained as dangerous as ever. Many more lives were lost over subsequent years. Then came a young fisherman named Obi, the most daring villager yet. He rowed his canoe daily to the very spot rumored to be the witch's home, attempting to dredge up her bones and end the misery. But each time he neared the lagoon's entrance, ominous clouds formed and frigid winds blew his canoe back towards land. Exasperated after years of failure, Obi gave up his quest. Instead, he took a riverfront wife named Ndidi and fathered strong twin boys. He trained them as small children to wield oars and nets. By age 16, Ekene and Emeka were renowned fishermen, earning more than anyone. While most villagers still cowered from the river, the daring twins sold fish that fed the entire village. Their skills and courage allowed everyone to prosper, finally loosening fear's stronghold. Then one morning, only Ekene returned from the river. His twin brother had fallen overboard, he claimed. But the tear-filled eyes of the remaining twin told Onyeka differently. The river witch had struck again. Enraged, Obi and his son gathered all the men and elders of the village. "We must defeat this demon once and for all before she takes any more sons," he declared. Fueled by anger and grief, the men collected axes, hooks, and spears. Even young Akini grabbed a fishing knife, determined to avenge his brother. With Obi leading the way, the band of warriors marched down to the rushing river on a mission to find and destroy the witch. As their boats crossed into deeper waters, the sky darkened ominously. Sinister wind swirled, rocking the boats, but Obi pressed on towards the very center of the river. Suddenly, the river erupted with a fearsome screech. The witch burst from below, grabbing men to pull them into her monstrous embrace. Boats overturned and bodies flew through the air from her powerful wrath, but young Akina held his ground, refusing to flee. As the witch swam for Obi to drown him next, Akina drove his knife deep into her back. She reeled around in agony. Obi lunged forward and finished her off with his spear. The dark clouds parted as quickly as they had come. The men stared in weary shock as the witch's lifeless body drifted down towards the riverbed, never to terrorize their village again. At long last, the curse was over. Onyeka wept with awe and relief by the riverbank as Akina and Obi returned victorious. With the witch gone, fish overflowed once more. The villagers feasted and cheered their heroes for generations to come. The beautiful river flowed peacefully on, posing no further threat to young lovers or fishermen. And so the village prospered in joyful tranquility for years to come.